Python tuple. So tuples are used to store multiple items in a single variable. Tuple is one of the 4 built-in data types in Python used to store collections of data. The other 3 are list, set, and dictionary. So we have already discussed list, all with different qualities and usage. A tuple is a collection which is ordered and unchangeable. So tuples are written with round brackets. So in contrast, a list we use square brackets. So for tuple we use round brackets, and again for a list it is ordered and changeable, but a tuple is not changeable. So example, to create a tuple, this list is equal to, so in open and close parentheses or round brackets we use we place here the items. We have apple, banana, and cherry. So print this tuple, so it will print the items in the list, of course including the parentheses. So that's the list. Well, that's a tuple. The items in the tuple rather. So tuple items. Tuple items are ordered, unchangeable, and allow duplicate values. Tuple items are indexed. The first item has index 0. The second item has index 1. That's why it's ordered. That means we have an ordering, or we have numbering. So ordered, when you say the tuples are ordered, it means that the items have defined order, and that order will not change. Unchangeable, tuples are unchangeable, meaning that we cannot change, add, or remove items after the tuple has been created. Allow duplicates. So since tuples are indexed, they can have items with the same value. So example, tuples allow duplicate values. So this tuple is equal to apple, banana, cherry, apple, cherry. So apple, we have duplicate values for apple and cherry. So if we print this tuple, it will print the items inside the tuple. Access tuple items. So you can access tuple items by referring to the index number inside the square brackets. So this tuple, then we print this tuple, then the index number. So this will print banana. Negative indexing means start from the end. So negative 1 refers to the last item, negative 2 refers to the second to the last item, etc. So print the last item of the tuple. So to do this, we just print this tuple, then we use negative 1. So that will print cherry. So what if you want to print banana? So just change this 1 to negative 2. If you want to print apple, negative 3. So you can start from the end or start from the beginning. So from the beginning, this is index 0, 1, and 2. From the end, or from the from end, this is negative 1, negative 2, and negative 3. Range of indices. So you can specify a range of indices by specifying where to start and where to end the range. So just like what we do in a list also. So when specifying a range, the return value will be a new tuple with the specified item. So again, the return value will be a new tuple. So example, return the third, fourth, and fifth item. So this tuple equals, so this is the original tuple. So print this tuple 2 to 5. So 0, 1, 2. So let's start with cherry. 2, 3, 4, 5. So up to melon, but melon is not included. So it will only be cherry, orange, and kiwi. So if you print that, the output of this code will be a tuple with the following elements: cherry, orange, and kiwi. Okay, so again, the index will start with 2, that's included, and end at index 5, but index 5 is not included. Take note of that. So similar with a list, or actually in Python, if you always specify a range, the last index is always not included. So remember that the first item has an index 0. By leaving out the start value, the range will start at the first item. So we have this example, returns the items from the beginning to but not included kiwi. So we have this tuple: apple, banana, cherry, orange, kiwi, melon, or mango. And then print this tuple. So the start value is not provided, then we have the end value. So that means we'll start from the beginning. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So up to kiwi but not included. So that will be the items will only be apple, banana, cherry, and orange. So that's the output of this code. Again, that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But this one is not included. By leaving out the end value, so similarly, the range will go on to the end of the list. So this example returns the items from cherry and to the end. So this tuple, so we have here the elements of the tuple or the items of the tuple. Print this tuple starting from 2. So 0, 1, 2. So we'll start with cherry and then up to the end of the range. So that's why we have here cherry, orange, kiwi, melon, and mango. Range of negative indices. So specify negative indices if you want to start a search from the end of the tuple. So this example returns the items from index -4 up to index -1. So again, the last index is not included. So if you have this one, so -1, 2, 3, 4, we start with orange up to mango, but mango is not included. So that will be orange, kiwi, and melon. So we have here orange, kiwi, and melon. Again, -4, so -1, -2, -3, -4. We start with this up to -1. So this is -1, but not included. Check if item exists. So to determine if a specified item is present in a tuple, use the in keyword. So check if apple is present in the tuple. So this tuple equals apple, banana, cherry. If apple in this tuple, print yes, apple is in the fruits tuple. So since apple is in this tuple, then it will print yes, apple is in this fruits tuple. So that will be the output. Change tuple values. So once a tuple is created, you cannot change its values. Tuples are unchangeable or immutable as it also is called. But there is a workaround. You can convert the tuple into a list, change the list, and convert the list back into a tuple. So that's how you do it. If you want to change a tuple, you convert the tuple into a list, change the list, and then convert the list back into a tuple. So in this case, we have here a tuple. So it is not changeable. And then we converted this tuple into a list. So y here now is a list. So list x. So we converted x, the tuple x, into a list in y. And then we change banana to kiwi. So y1. So y01. So banana. We change that to kiwi. And then we again convert the tuple or the list into a tuple and overwriting x. So x equals tuple y. So if you print x now, we have changed banana to kiwi. So that's the workaround. Again, the workaround is convert a tuple into a list, change the value, and then convert the new list into a tuple, overwriting the previous tuple. Add items. So since tuples are immutable, they do not have a built-in append method. But there are other ways to add items to a tuple. Again, number 1, convert into a list. Just like the workaround for changing a tuple, you can convert it into a list, add your items, and then convert it back to tuple. So that's one way. So convert the tuple into a list. So this is a tuple. We convert the tuple into a list. So list is tuple. And then this is now already a list. Then we add value y.append orange. And then we now convert the list y back into a tuple. So we print this tuple. So it is not already included here. If we print this tuple, the output will be apple, banana, cherry, and orange. Another method, add tuple to a tuple. You are allowed to add tuples to tuples. So if you want to add one item or many, create a new tuple with the items and add it to the existing tuple. Just like in this case, this tuple equals apple, banana, cherry. Y equals orange, comma. Take note, we have here a comma. So when creating a tuple with only one item, remember to include a comma after the item. Otherwise, it will not be identified as a tuple. So orange, comma. Then this tuple plus equals y. So that means we are adding this tuple to this tuple. So we print this tuple now. You notice that we already have added the item. How do we remove items? You cannot remove items in a tuple. Tuples are unchangeable, so you cannot remove items from it. But if you can use the same workaround as we use for changing and adding tuple items. So again, the workaround is we convert to a list, then remove the item, and then convert the list into a tuple. So in this case, again, we have a tuple. Then the tuple is converted into a list, into y. Then using a list, we remove apple, and then we convert the list into a tuple. So we have here now banana and cherry. Or you can delete the tuple completely if you want. So to delete keyword, the del keyword can delete the tuple completely. So this tuple equals apple, banana, cherry. Del this tuple. If you print this tuple, this will raise an error because this tuple no longer exists. Okay, so we did not just remove the items, we actually deleted the tuple itself. So if you print this one, more or less your output will be similar to this one. So it will display an error message. Unpacking a tuple. We can create a tuple we normally assign values to it. This is called packing a tuple. So packing a tuple, fruits equals apple, banana, cherry. So that's packing a tuple. So we print fruits, we have apple, banana, and cherry. But in Python, we are also allowed to extract the values back into variables. This is called unpacking. So unpacking a tuple, fruits equals apple, banana, cherry. Let's say we have green, yellow, red equals fruits. So that means we are unpacking the items here. Then that means that apple will be assigned to the variable green, banana to yellow, and cherry to red. So if you print green, this will print apple. If you print yellow, this will print banana. If you print red, this will print cherry. So the number of variables must match. So again, it must match the number of values in the tuple. If not, you must use an asterisk to collect the remaining values as a list, which will be showed on our next slide. So using the asterisk, if the number of variables is less than the number of values, you can add an asterisk to the variable name, and the values will be assigned to the variable as a list. So it will be as a list, okay, not a tuple. So just like, for example, fruits is equal to apple, banana, cherry, strawberry, and raspberry. So we have green, yellow, and then asterisk red equals fruits. So that means that apple will be assigned to green, banana to yellow, and then red will become a list of the remaining items. So it will be cherry, strawberry, and raspberry. That's why if we print green, it will print apple. If you print yellow, it will print banana. But if you print red, so you notice we place asterisk here, it will print a list of the remaining items. So we have cherry, strawberry, and raspberry. Another example using an asterisk. So if the asterisk is added to another variable name, then the last, Python will assign values to the variable until the number of values left matches the number of variables left. So let's say, for example, green, then asterisk tropic, and then red. So what will happen here is green, apple will be assigned to green, and then red, cherry will be assigned to red, and the remaining here, what is at the middle, will be a list assigned to tropic. So if we print green, we have here apple. Print tropic, we have here a list containing mango, papaya, and pineapple. Print red, we have cherry. Loop through a tuple. You can loop through a tuple items by using a for loop, just like what you do in a list. So iterate through the items and print the values. So this tuple equals apple, banana, cherry. For x in this tuple, print x. So we have apple, banana, and cherry. So similar with the list. So we can also loop through the tuple by using the index number. So you can also loop through the tuple items by referring to their index number. Use the range and length functions to create the suitable iterable. So print all items by referring to their index number. So this tuple equals apple, banana, cherry. For I in range, so again, if we use a range, it's to produce a number. So length, if we use length, this is 3. That means our iterable will be 0, 1, and 2. So that will be the values of I. Okay, so in the first loop, this tuple I, that means that's 0, but it's referring to apple. And then in the next loop, this becomes 1, so we're now referring to banana. So you have here banana. And then on the next loop, I now is 2, we're referring to cherry. So it will print cherry. Using a while loop. So you can loop through the list items by using a while loop. Again, similar to a list. So use the length function to determine the length of the tuple, then start at 0 and loop your way through the tuple items by referring to their indices. Remember to increase the index by 1 after each iteration. So if we print all items using a while loop, this is how we do it. This tuple is equal to apple, banana, cherry. We start a variable I with 0, so while I is lesser than the length of this tuple, so lesser than 3. So that means from 0 to 2. Then print this tuple indexed by I. So again, initially it is 0, so that's apple. I equals I plus 1, or we add 1 to I becomes 2, which is still 1 rather, which is still lesser than 2, 3 rather, that's 1 lesser than 3. So this will print this tuple indexed by 1, banana. Add 1, it becomes 2. So 2 is lesser than 3. So it will print indexed by 2, that's cherry. Add 1, it becomes 3. 3 is no longer lesser than 3. So it goes out of the loop. So we have printed apple, banana, and cherry. How do we join two tuples? To join two or more tuples, you can use the plus operator. Join two tuples, tuple 1 equals A, B, C for example, and then tuple 2 equals 1, 2, 3. So tuple is equal to tuple 1 plus tuple 2. Then that means we have joined the two tuples in another tuple, that's tuple 3. So if you print tuple 3, we have A, B, C, then 1, 2, 3. Multiply tuples. So you can, if you want to multiply the content of a tuple a given number of times, you can use the asterisk operator. So multiply fruits tuple by 2, for example. So we have fruits by apple, banana, cherry. My tuple is equal to fruits times 2. So if you print my tuple, so it is now repeated twice. So we have apple, banana, cherry, then apple, banana, cherry. Tuple method. So we have the count tuple method. So return the number of times the value 5 appears in the tuple. So this tuple equals, so we have 1, 3, 7, 8, 7, 5, 4, 6, 8, 5. So x is equal to this tuple that count 5. So it will count how many times 5 appeared in this tuple. So in this case, we have 2 times. So if we print x, it will print 2. We also have the index method. So search for the first occurrence of the value 8 and return its position. So this tuple 137875468 for example, this tuple that index 8. So we're looking for the index where 8 is located. So in this case, it is 0, 1, 2, 3. That's the first occurrence. So the value of x here is actually 3. And that ends our lecture or tutorial for tuples. So thank you very much for viewing this video.